Hey guys, I'm sorry that I can't be there today, but Riley's sick and she's not feeling good, but we're going to go on with our lesson anyway. Um, what we're going to do today is we're going to look at your extended responses. I went through and I graded all of them just a little bit ago, last night. Anyway, several of us, we just forgot to look at our prompt, is what happened. You guys were completely fixated on defending how the mountain looked. And I know we talked a lot about different figurative language, but the point was this prompt was focused on one piece of figurative language, just like the prompt that we did on Monday. So you had to take that piece of figurative language out and figure out, okay, what was David saying with this when he said this? The prompt reads, read this sentence from paragraph 6 of the story. Already the evening sun was throwing shadows across the side of the mountain and touching its peak with a ruddy blaze. A ruddy blaze basically means a red fire. In your own words, describe what the mountain must have looked like to David. Explain your answer using at least 2 context clues from within the sentence or paragraph. So context clues is just a material that is around what he said that would help you explain what he was trying to say with that. So, very first, we needed to, a lot of us gave text evidence and you gave context clues, but you forgot to mention this particular quote. You got to have that quote or some kind of reference to that, or you didn't completely do the what it wanted you to do, the prompt. Anyway, I have an example of a perfect 4. There were actually a few that we had, but this one was really good the way that she worded it, and this is McKenna's. I'm gonna brag on her, but anyway, good job, McKenna. Her prompt, this is how she started it. There are 2 ways to describe what the mountain looked like to David. Now, she didn't have to start with there are 2 ways because the prompt didn't tell us to only give 2 ways. It said use at least 2 ways. And you know how I am on numbers, but still, it's okay. It works for her. She used a transition. First of all, David said, already the evening sun was throwing shadows. What the mountain looked like for David was the sun was going down and went behind the mountain and made a shadow from the mountain. Secondly, the text mentions across the side of the mountain and touching its peak with a ruddy blaze. This means while the sun was setting, it made the mountain peak look like it was on fire. This is 2 ways to describe what the mountain looked like for David when he said, already the evening sun was throwing shadows and across the side of the mountain peak with a ruddy blaze. Now, she could have given, her wording was fine on that. She split the piece of figurative language and she used it to explain what in the world was he saying with that. He didn't literally mean that, but there was a reason why he said it that way. There were other people that took, and they mentioned the part, let me go back and try to find it, the part where it mentioned that the peaks could look like they could talk to the sky. Right here, a lot of people started out with the fact that the mountain was large, and they used the text evidence that said it swept upward from the valley floor, beautifully shaped and soaring so tall that its misty blue peak could surely talk face to face with the stars. They mentioned this piece of text evidence, and then with that, they, as the support or whatever, they mentioned that this proves that the mountain was very tall. Then they led into that the fact that it was tall was why that the sun was able to cast those shadows. If it had been a smaller mountain, the sun probably wouldn't have been able to hit it, which would have forced those shadows. You can set it up different ways. Other people use the text evidence where it mentioned about the evening. Let's see, which was it was actually in the part that we did. Oh goodness, the quote that we did. I'm sorry, I'm very, very sleepy. The part where it says already evening. So they mentioned that, this shows that the sun was setting, which in return, what we know about the sun setting is that it has a reddish color, which would, when it shines onto the top of the mountain, which would create that reddish color, which would look like a blaze, a red blaze, or something of that sort. Anyway, what I want you to do today, I'm going to send a list of people that were okay. in case I don't get to, if you scored below a 3, you're going to redo your response. What I want you to do is make sure that you give a good topic sentence. And most people did pretty good with your topic sentence. I was really proud. Some people struggled a little bit. If I were given a topic sentence, you could, number one, say, David has a or David has a certain meaning, or David has a special meaning when he says, already the evening sun was throwing shadows across the side of the mountain and touching its peak with a ruddy blaze. Or you could, I'm trying to think how some people restated. They said, there are ways to describe what the mountain looked like to David. And then they went in. Either one of those will work fine. But please make sure you give your transitions. Make sure you give the evidence. I've guided you. I expect really good responses. So I'm going to put up a redo. And that way I can grade it today and get feedback to you. Just do a really good job, please. You guys are doing great. You guys are working really hard. I think you just misinterpreted. The point is, let's count this as just a lesson learned, and make sure that you really, really, really read your prompts carefully, because what if this was one that would have been on the test and you just accidentally misread it and misinterpreted? We don't want to do that. Very proud of you guys. I'm sorry that I can't be there today. Just do the best you can do.